Yes, it is true that I was at the house of Mr. Molefe.
And what was the nature of the visit? Are you guys perhaps close friends?
No, we are not friends. I think if you look at my online newspaper, it hasn't been that active, and I decided to put together some young people that can then run with it, that are interested in the media space. And to resuscitate it, obviously, and in its own tradition, African News Global has always focused on exclusive stories. So they wanted to do an exclusive story, and Mr. Molefe was a person where there was an opportunity to do a story with him. Remember that he has not spoken publicly since his arrest and whilst he was on bail. And so I facilitated with somebody that I know that knows Mr. Molefe. And Mr. Molefe agreed to do the interview, and the meeting was facilitated.
So you were there essentially as the editor-in-chief of the newspaper, facilitating an interview exclusively?
No, not as editor-in-chief. I am handing the platform as the owner to these young people, because I don't have time for it with the work that I'm doing in the city. And but these matters are very sensitive. So the person that facilitated said, you have to bring the journalist, which I did. He sent me the address, and we followed that address. In fact, he sent me the first address, and then he said, no, don't use this one, use this one. It was just a question of street or road or something. So we used the address, we got there, we drove in. As we're in the driveway, standing, I don't know if it's the son or one of the boys, came running and saying, the police are kicking the gate. And Mr. Molefe came out, and they said, no, open the gate.
So just for clarity, you were yet to enter the premises as well. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're inside the premises.
So you're inside the premises?
In the driveway.
Okay, but there's two of you inside now. It's you and the young journalist you have come to introduce to Mr. Molefe.
No, it's me, the young journalist, and the person that is coming to introduce us to Mr. Molefe.
All right.
The person that has facilitated for the interview to happen. So before we could even go in the house or sit wherever we are going, the journalist will do an interview. Then the police arrived, rifles, Casper, V-classes, and they then asked who is the owner of the house. Mr. Molefe said, it's me. And then they handcuffed him, and they then wanted our particulars, and they called me to ask me these questions. What am I doing there? And I explained to them. They asked me if I've got the number of Mr. Molefe. They want to see it. I said, I don't have his number.
All right.
By the way, you can take my phone, punch his number, and see if I have it. How did you get here? I got here because this person sent me the address. And I can show you on my phone. I got the address and I came here. I just arrived. When you guys do your drama, I've not even been offered water. So they then asked for my phone. I opened it, and they saw that the message with the address, with the two addresses, came from the gentleman who said, Mtumande, please use this address. And that's how I got there.
So the person who was facilitating the meeting, what was told to you as the reason for you being part of the meeting? Because you could have sent the journalist nevertheless to do that job, I suppose. That he could have gone alone, or did they need the owner of the newspaper as well to be part of the meeting? I just want clarity again on that one.
It's a question of relationships. The matter is very sensitive. The person has not done interviews, but he was fine to do interview with the publication that I own. But as I said, I am now handing it over to these young people that can then run with it on a daily basis. I'm going to give the directorship to one of them or two of them. Then they can run with it. I won't be involved.
Okay.
So it's a question of relationships where, and I'll make an example. Steve Motale wanted to interview President Zuma some years back. And President Zuma was comfortable, no problem. But I had to take Steve Motale there. So it's a question of relationships.
So your presence there almost elevated at least the importance of this interview, you believe, even though, according to you, there's no relationship with you and the person who was going to be interviewed.
Yes,
just that the owner coming meant something to him.
No, it's a relationship issue. Look, Brakeni, You must bring the journalist. We don't want somebody here that will come and write their own thing. Will be comfortable if you bring the person for this particular exclusive. And that's what happened. It's not only that. I have taken young people to interviews. I've taken young people. I open opportunities for young people. That's what I do. So I didn't see anything wrong. I arrived there at 12:15 after midday, during the day, driving in my personal car. So it was not an issue that we are taking Uber there, there's a clandestine meeting. No. It was about an interview that would have given these young people an opportunity to now revive Africa News Global, which, of course, News 24 confirmed that when they went to CIPC, I am the sole director. And I'm in the process of the accountant now putting the details of one of them so that they now own it fully, and then they can then run with it. It was a question of perhaps being at the wrong place at the wrong time for the right reasons, although I believe that I was not at the wrong place.
So never had any encounters with him in social settings, specifically Mr. Katiso Molefe as a businessman? I'm a
socialite before I'm a politician. I've owned clubs, I've owned restaurants. I'm a fun person, but I have not had an encounter in that space, but I had an encounter where the gentleman that took us there, that facilitated, when he did his mother's birthday, he invited me. Mr. Molefe was also there, and it was a question of greetings, nothing much. I went to sit in my corner with my people.
Okay, so at a birthday setting, you once met Mr. Molefe?
Yeah, but not conversation. It was just an issue of greetings, and then I sit. By the way, people will tell you, when I arrive at a place, I greet everybody, even if it's not my own thing. Because I'm warm like that to people. I was taught to greet.
I hope that nobody today says that specific statement of being a socialite before a politician is misunderstood, but I take it you're saying that at least your introduction to the public was as a socialite, but later on became a politician.
As a socialite and a businessman, and later on became a politician. I've got relationships with many people, be it politicians, be it business people, whatever. So it's an issue of I don't know if the police were surveilling or what, but I don't understand, because it was during the day. We're going to do this. I explained to the police. They satisfied themselves.
Okay. But then let's go to the exclusive interview. Did you guys want to interview him specifically on his arrest for the murder or linked to the murder of the engineer Amand Swart? Yes. Or there were other issues that you wanted to perhaps write a story on?
That was the issue, and other issues. Remember that General Mkhwanazi also said a few things surrounding
when the arrest was to be effected, that
yes,
the Hawks were also called while there was a special unit that was there to effect the arrest.
Exactly. So for the young journalists, even for me being in the space, that was going to be the biggest exclusive. It was going to be a mind-blowing exclusive, because the public would have, for the first time, heard Mr. Molefe speak, what happened when he was arrested, what's going on with the case, without obviously compromising his case in court. But so that was the exclusive. You saw.
But in hindsight, given everything now and the uproar even on social media, because we've got here an MMC who, yes, in his personal capacity and running a business on the side, had gone to try and get an exclusive interview. It almost embroils this official into this whole saga where the proximity of you and this man is being questioned. Is there perhaps in hindsight a bit of regret, perhaps to say maybe earlier on you should have decided to rather quickly allow the business aspect to run itself so that you don't find yourself in such situations, because now clarity is sought as to the extent of this relationship? But
I'm handing the business over to young people, and I must hold their hand. I'm the sole director, so I must hold their hand. So there's no regrets, really, because I didn't go there for anything wrong. And as I'm saying, the police were there, and the police asked pertinent questions to connect me to him. The first one was, do you have his number on your phone? I said, I don't have it. I said to them, take my phone and punch his number. They said, no, we believe you. Then how did you get here? I showed them proof of how I got there. The police were fine. So the police at that particular time established that he's not my friend. We are not business partners. But if I were friends with him, I will never deny my friends. If I were there and he was my friend, I would have said he's my friend. If I was there because we had a business dealing, I would have said I was there because we have a business dealing. The man is accused. He is yet to face a court of law. So I would have said, yes, indeed, he's my friend.
All right.
I would never, ever say somebody's not my friend because I'm a politician.
Now, on the case of Advocate Godfrey Lebeya, we had him a bit earlier on now. You also touch on that element that when they were effecting the arrest, there were the hawks that were called, and General Lebeya was called by a friend, I suppose an associate of Mr. Katiso Molefe. So you're saying, because this is a question it would be remiss of me not to ask, you were most certainly not the person that would have called as a friend, associate, or anybody that is linked, that could have called and said, there's a gentleman here, Mr. Molefe, they're about to arrest him. These people are representing themselves or introducing themselves as being sent by the Hawks. It was most certainly not you in any way. Calling... No, it's important that we ask these questions.
No, it was certainly... Look, it was certainly not me. I don't have the numbers of General Lebeya. I don't remember having met him, but it's certainly not me. How would I have known that the people are in his house if he doesn't have my number? Molefe doesn't have my number. I don't have his number.
Yeah.
So how would he have called me to say there are people here?
And you clarified that you're not friends. You met once at a birthday party, and it was just a hi.
Yes, I greet people everywhere. I was raised well. So, and I'm repeating, if this man was my friend, I would have said he's my friend.
Mr.
Because
Kunene?
I don't like to lie.